out from Dallas and then Lloyd behind him today?
Yeah, well, Loy is the one that really sticks out. It was because it was his first outing, and you're anxious to get these guys their first crack at it. And man, for a lot of guys, any year, any situation, it would be nice if we could change this redshirt rule for these guys. It's so different than football. I mean, guys should have the opportunity to go out there and get a little bit of action, and then if it looks like it's not going to be worth their year eligibility for some reason, cut back. So it's a stressful moment anytime you let a guy make his first appearance. But Lloyd looked like he belonged for a long time for us. He did very well. And then Dallas, kind of picked up where he left off. He didn't let the moment get too big for him in Globe Life when it was a very big moment, and kind of kept this deal simple. He looked like he did every day that he's out there. He's real solid, real consistent. Obviously, has a high ceiling and a lot of projection. But for this particular day, he did what we needed to. He got us close to the middle of the game with an opportunity to win.
On that combined, gave up one hit from your entire staff that was out there. Not what you say, what you talking about?
Yeah, I think a little bit of that goes to the position players. It makes it tougher on the other team, and it makes it easier on the pitchers when they're given a little bit of leeway. Now, some of those guys like Hundley threw the ball in outstanding fashion last night in a tight game. You'd like to be able to pitch it well in any occasion, but I think the offense really did a nice job of grinding out some at-bats. Well, we faced a very difficult pitcher the first few innings and honestly got a few breaks to go our way, but at least we capitalized on them. And then, overall, the pitchers, are anxious to get out there and show what they can do. I think they sense kind of the deal we got going. There's a couple guys that undoubtedly are going to get the ball with the game on the line out of the bullpen. And Russ and Beam are going to flip back and forth or do whatever they got to do 2 days a weekend for us. But there is a lot of innings up for grabs, and I think that's kind of making these guys hungry and sensing that a little bit.
Last night you said the team's approach at the plate was casual. How would you describe it?
Yeah, I think the whole team, it carried over into the batter's box, but I think it was the whole team. And then they flipped that this afternoon. A little birdie told me that the team was kind of a little more focused than they were yesterday. And then you could kind of sense that in here warming up for the game out there. Their dugout is connecting to the coach's locker room, so you can hear some things that way too. And I think our best asset today, our best player, was in a weird way UNC Asheville. They played so well against us last night that it woke our guys up a little bit. Again, credit to them because they played well, but we didn't show up with the intent we needed to at the ballpark. And I think that led to a better performance or just a better approach today. And fortunately, the results followed.
You envision a much better debut for Curley?
I think everybody expected good things. I think the better debut would have been if it would have came earlier. But we wanted to be conservative with that hamstring. So, pretty good debut. Results aren't always reflective of the work that's been put in or the talent that's there or another kid that I would consider a very high character kid from a great family, but it's pretty cool that it worked out the way that it did. And it's one more thing that I think gives our club confidence now that he's back in the whole deal. And of course we got another one or two that we're waiting to add to the mix. And mentioned it last night, the year will go on and somebody will stub their toe or turn their ankle. So everybody needs to stay sharp and ready to capitalize on their opportunities.
I guess specifically because you had a couple with Simo leading off and then Dryling in the A-hole?
I think a little bit of it was, carryover from yesterday, shake things up a little bit and bring a new mentality and just a new vibe to the ballpark. Part of it was Dean was going to play, talk with Simo before the game, and he is truly developed into a junior leader on the team. And part of that is, he's got an unselfish approach about where he's at in the lineup or where he has in the field. I don't think you give a lot of guys freedom, but some of the pitchers, like last year I had conversation with guys, hey, we're going to move you to this day on the weekend. No, I don't want to do that. Okay, we'll work with you if you have that, if you got a little bit of stock in the company, so to speak. But no, just in general, try to mix it up a little bit and really just wanted to find a way to score early against lefty because what we saw on video is that he's got a pretty good arm, and we knew they had some other good arms they throw at us. So we wanted to score early. That was another approach with the lineup.
What has Colby Backus done well to be in a position to contribute?
He's really worked hard at the mental side of everything. and that never any issues or lack of routines. There certainly has always been a work ethic there. You see how physical he is. So, last year the coaches and he had a conversation like, you got the skill set and the physique to play in this conference, no doubt. But the league will beat you up. The competition will beat you up if you let it. So, you got to learn from the negatives and gain confidence from the positives. But overall, you got to kind of work at this thing, how it's going to work for you in general. And I think Dallas and Hunley are two guys that I think they're kind of cheating a little bit. I think it naturally comes to them to slow the game down and kind of have a good mindset. It doesn't come that way for everybody. And you can ask Burke and Simo. They're two of our leaders and juniors. They're completely different in a lot of ways than they were when they were freshmen. And one of them is, I think they've gained strength in kind of the mental game or with their mentality.
You have a plan for the game 3 starter this weekend?
No, we don't. We'll kind of do the same thing. It will be Russell on Friday, and Beam will be ready for Saturday. Fortunately, the way these guys threw the ball the last 2 days, they actually kind of changed our plans and have made us more fresh going into the weekend. So there'll be more options out of the bullpen, and therefore there'll be a carryover and somebody that's more fresh and ready to go for Sunday.
You talked about Christian being more of a leader and kind of being a junior in the program now. Is that something that's happened sort of quickly, or did it just sort of gradually start?
No, that's slow. And it's still a work in progress. I think his competitiveness and sometimes emotions will get to the point where he doesn't lead the right way or will make a mistake, just like all of his teammates will. But I think if you look at the daily progress that he's made in a lot of different ways, base running and defense are two things that come to mind. But also just kind of looking for that edge to win and how to help teammates and willing, again, to put the team in front of himself. I think that part's improved. But kind of like anybody that gets in the batting cage here with their swing, it's by far not a finished product. But that, to me, is exciting for, whoever's going to get him next, the next level. I think they're getting someone who's ready to contribute at a very high level right away. But I don't think he's anywhere near being a finished product as just a person, but also as a player.
Thanks,